Mary Cosby is finally issuing an apology for the derogatory things that she said about Mexican people on last week's episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and she's sharing her thoughts on why Cameron left her church. Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So I'm sure you watched last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and we will be recapping it later today here on the channel. Mary Cosby, though, finally released an apology for the derogatory statements that she made on last week's episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. When speaking to Lisa Barlow, she referred to Jen Shah being like thugs, like Mexican people. I'm paraphrasing here, but either way, it was cringeworthy. And I honestly thought that she had released an apology that night or the next day. No, she released an apology just in time to promote last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, saying this on her social media in an invitation-like post. Mary says this: "I would like to take this opportunity to address a comment I made on the last episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I used poor judgment in my choice of words. Please accept my apologies. I was not trying to single out the Mexican culture. I am African American and I know racism firsthand. I've lived it daily my entire life. It is important to me that you hear this apology directly from me. My comment was reckless, unintentional. I am truly sorry." Here's the thing. Mary, it appears, likes to use her race as an excuse for her behavior. And I'm just basing this on Mary. Do I believe that Mary has experienced racism in her life? Yes. However, it just feels like a knee-jerk reaction for her to go there all the time in defense of her bad behavior. Her statements about Mexican people was derogatory. However, this pre-produced, this publicist comment, first of all, a week too late. She should have apologized that same night. I honestly would have preferred a video from her, but we already know Mary, when she's on video and when she's trying to explain herself, it comes across worse, and I'm sure her people understand that. But this apology is way too late, especially when she decided to post it the day to promote the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City's episode. And like I said to you before, even in this last episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, she was saying in regards to what the ladies were saying about her in Vail, oh, it's because I'm a brown girl. We've seen Mary Cosby go on social media before the season premiered, alluding that Heather Gay and Whitney Rose are racist, which are serious accusations. And it made me kind of go, why is she saying this? What did they say or do? Look, the season's not over. I'm not sure what she might be referring to. I'm sure they're going to address this during the reunion. But calling someone racist when it's not there, when it isn't happening, first of all, we don't want to ever just throw things like that out there if they're not true. Because when it is true, people aren't going to believe you, Mary Cosby. And I know there are already a lot of people of color, a lot of black women that are already looking at Mary Cosby like, I kind of believe what Jen Shah said about you in the 7-Eleven. And I know, to believe Jen Shah, of all people, not only is Mary Cosby speaking out about her comments from last week's episode, she's also talking about Cameron. You know Cameron, may he rest in peace, who we met on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City a couple of episodes ago. Well, she's talking about the reason why he left her church. And she sort of says, there are certain people that leave that don't want to follow the rules. This is what she said in the after show. She says, "I don't know. I think people leave for their own reasons. Every church has rules. Every church has ways you're supposed to live." She goes on to say, "We don't really necessarily curse or drink or do things that some people just want to do, and it's okay. Sometimes you just fall off, like, you know what? I'm not really going to try to do the right thing right now." Not saying that this is Cameron's story, but that's the reason why they usually just but it's not ill will. It's just more so of an amicable departure. Every church has those. We have one on our cast, referring to Heather Gay. But one of the other details that I didn't realize is that Cameron was engaged to Mary's niece. And that's how Cameron got into her church. If you have been watching The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Cameron reveals on the show that he mortgaged his home to give Mary Cosby $300,000, allegedly. So there are a lot of rumors going on about whether or not Mary's church looks at her as a god, that they're putting themselves in the poorhouse in order to fund her life. However, we've heard from Mary that the money that she has, which she inherited from her grandmother, who had multiple businesses, not just the church. As I've said before, Mary has denied these allegations of being a god or stealing from her church. Look, I don't know, but if you've been watching Mary Cosby, things are a little fishy. And with Jen Shah getting arrested, honestly, I think a lot of people thought it would be Mary Cosby for Jen Shah. But the fact that Mary Cosby is on this major platform and people are looking at her a little bit more closely, it will be interesting to see what the future of Mary Cosby will be in regards to her church, in regards to the reality TV, and in regards to the law. Guys, I want to know your thoughts on this. What do you think about what Mary Cosby had to say about Cameron and her apology? Do you think it was a little too late? Let's have that conversation below. And as always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.